Hey there, it's Dr. Jonathan Ellerby, and we are going live again with another 12 at 12. At least I think we're live. My Facebook camera is spinning and spinning as if I'm not even on. But I trust you're out there. I'm here. And today's topic actually comes out of a post that I made today on Instagram. Uh, you can follow me at Jonathan Ellerby PhD on Instagram. And if you want to learn more about my work, I'm at jonathanellerby.com. But what we're doing every day at 12 o'clock is diving into key topics, themes, and lessons for a more mindful and resilient life. The post reads, if your reality reflects your spirituality, what do you see around you? Fools, freedom, fun, opportunity, income, friends, enemies, joy, fear. The world is big enough that we can always find evidence for whatever we are most afraid of. We can also find evidence for all the goodness and hope that we need. When you walk into a room, look forward to your day, or relate to the people around you, what catches your attention most? What do you give attention to? What do you pay attention to? And how does your focus make you feel? How does it affect others? Is it time to change your experience? A long time ago, I remember someone used the acronym FEAR, F-E-A-R, for false evidence appearing real. Now, that's a complicated teaching because obviously there are some fears that are primal, right? Rooted in the brain stem. If there's a rattlesnake on your path when you're walking, not necessarily false evidence. Um, if you're triggered by something that reminds you of a trauma, we can't totally dismiss the validity of that emotional reaction, even though it is true that the original experience is no longer present. So we have to hold fear carefully because it is telling us something, right? Fear and reaction has a purpose. In many ways, it's trying to protect us. In many ways, it's calling our attention towards something. On the other hand, we also have to be careful that something that is merely made to catch our attention um, is also um, not becoming a new lens, right? So an alarm is not something we can live by. Now, this takes us to the idea of finding evidence for whatever it is we are afraid of, or for that matter, whatever it is we want. So if we are afraid that a group of people won't accept us, we can easily hear everything they say as a kind of indication that that's really what's happening. If we're convinced that everyone is interested in us and what we have to say, well, we can kind of hear all the same comments, unless they're blatant, in a similar way, which is really just a way of saying we're constantly shaping our reality with our expectations, not just with our perception, our filter, our lenses. We've discussed that before, and that's true. But it's kind of like the new car phenomena. Now, we don't all have this privilege, but when you're looking for a new car or a new bike, or you get one, suddenly you start to see that car everywhere. So if I'm thinking of getting a new white Honda, all of a sudden I think, wow, there's white Hondas everywhere. I didn't think anyone had one. That's why I was going to get it. It was so unique. And of course, what we've come to learn is that it's the way the brain works. It's the way the mind works. If we're preoccupied with something, we will notice it much more quickly than something we've never encountered before or something we're not paying attention to. The challenge, though, and this is very significant in the time of COVID and re-examining race relations around the world, is that the same dynamic goes into how we respond to things that appear to be objectively true. All white people are this. All black people are that. People who wear masks are this. People who wear masks are that. We can absolutely search the news every day to find good evidence of people who have abused or misused the COVID pandemic in such a way that we can feel pretty confident that we shouldn't trust the authorities in what they're saying about the numbers and how to manage it. But we can also go and look into the same news and search the same search engines with a different question, with proof that this absolutely is happening. And of course, we'll find evidence for that as well. Many of us have had this very acute experience recently. My wife, being from Spain, brought all kinds of imagery, real life experiences, friends and family lessons and learning from what was blowing up in the world of COVID in Spain, while people here had no experience of it. It sounded like a hoax. It sounded like a conspiracy theory. And so here, two different people are experiencing two different realities, two different sets of evidence, and coming up to totally different conclusions, and yet they're in the same world together. So the tricky thing that we want to pay attention to is, are you satisfied with the evidence you're finding for the world you're creating? If you have a doubt that people are trustworthy and everywhere you go you look to find what's wrong, or if you have an idea that life is only going to be good when everything's done right, then when you walk into a room, you might not notice new beautiful flowers, or you might not notice a new coat of paint even. You're just going to notice the mess on the floor, the cleaner didn't come, the window had a smudge, this person's late, whatever that might be. And I'm not here to say that your version of reality is wrong. I'm simply asking, how does it serve you? Does it uplift you? Does it bring forward your greatest qualities? And maybe even most significantly, does it bring vital love and energy to your relationships? And if not, can you examine, what do I pay attention to? What do I focus on? What evidence do I continuously seek out only to find disappointment and despair because of it? Or only to find stress because of it, or only to find breakdowns in relationship because of it. I hope in some areas of your life it's also the opposite, that you look for solutions or beauty or creativity or opportunity, and you find those things as well. What it comes down to is awareness and intentionality. If we want to experience the world in a way that draws forth our strength, our ability to contribute while feeling a sense of peace, wholeness, and well-being, let us be careful of what stories we tell and how we are reinforcing them, for the evidence may be real, but is filtered, is chosen. It's a little bit like the Donald Trump phenomena of saying, well, if we don't test people for COVID, our number of confirmed cases will go down. That's true. Is that the result you want in your life? You got to choose the tests that you conduct so that you are fulfilled by the results that you get. What it takes is a little breath, a little slowing down every day, and when you find that the evidence for life, of life or for life, isn't serving you, can you re-examine your assumptions and consider some new ones and look for evidence of that? So we're already out of time. I'm grateful you joined me today. Hopefully you will take another look at your stories, the evidence you have for their power and correctness, and maybe choose some new stories. After all, there's evidence for all the goodness you could possibly want, hope for, or seek as well. I love you lots. I'll see you soon. Take care.